Welcome back to MDL Crochet for our tutorial on the Enigma blanket. I used a 4-weight yarn with a 6.5mm cabled Tunisian crochet hook. I used two colors from last year's Joann's Christmas collection, as well as Cherry Mix, which is all Big Twist, and the new Big Twist Christmas colors as the border. Now, the border is a built-in border, and it is done in the reverse stitch. And the back looks really cool in itself. This blanket you can do in any length you want. It is done in multiples of 4 plus 12. The reason why we went with 12 is because you're doing 5 on the side and reverse stitches on each side, and then you have your beginning stitch and your end stitch, which counts for your 12. We do our border, our stitches, and then our border again, and our blanket is done. And I'll walk you through every step of it. So let's get to it. Alright, so I started out with a chain of 36. The reason why 36 is the stitch itself is 4. And then we're adding 5 on each side for the border. So that's 10. And then we're counting for the last stitch and the first stitch. So that's our 12. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the foundation row. And to do the foundation row is you don't count the loop that's coming from your hook or that it's coming out of. The very next loop, you turn over and you get it out of the back bump. And go ahead and pull up your foundation row and do a count. And just work into those back bumps, pulling up your loops and trying not to split your yarn. And as soon as we get the foundation row pulled up, I'll be right back and we will continue more onto this Enigma pattern. Alright, so I have my foundation row up and my count is accurate. So to do the return pass, it's a standard return pass. You'll chain 1 on that very last loop, yarn over and pull through 2. And you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 consistently until you only have the 1 loop left on your hook. And I will see you when we get back to the 1 loop left on our hook. Alright, I'm passing through the last few right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a total of 5 rows of reverse stitches. Now the reverse stitch is an anti-curling stitch. That's why I like to add it in as a built-in border, because it helps fight against the curl. So how to do a reverse stitch is you see your stitch right here. What you're looking for is that back post. So if you move your yarn out of the way and you can find your back post, you can do it this way, or like how I like to do it because I don't like flipping my work, is just take your needle and go into your gap and then split those two, the very next post, because there's the front post and there's the front post, there's the back post, and just pull it up. Just split it, split those two, and just pull it up. And you're going to do a total of 5 rows of reverse stitches. And what that entails is you're going to be able to tell what is a reverse stitch. You're going to do 4. You'll see 4 rows of these puffies. I like to call them puffies. But you'll see 4 rows of those, and that means you've done 5. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my 5 rows, and I'll see you here in just a moment. Alright, so I finished my 5th row. So you'll have the 4 rows of puffies. Now we're going to do 5 reverse stitches for our border. So just move it out of the way and get in there and get the 5. One, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. And then on this end, I went ahead and I put a stitch marker so we could see where we have 5 left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have our 5, beginning stitch, end stitch, that's our 12. In between will be our 24. So this is where things are going to start changing up. Now you're going to add a color. It doesn't matter what color. This pattern needs to be done in a minimum of 2 colors. Now how we're going to do this very first row, because we still want our border to be reversed, we're going to pull this up as a reverse stitch. Only on the first row that's touching our border are we going to pull it up as a reverse stitch. So we're going to continue all the way down with our new color, pulling up a reverse stitch. And that keeps our border color reversed. And then we're just going to go all the way down to where I placed my stitch marker, or your last 5 stitches, because the end stitch doesn't really count as a stitch because it's not part of the pattern. Because it doesn't fit in with the reverse stitch well, so I don't reverse stitch those. The beginning, of course, you can't, and the end just doesn't look good. So just go ahead and reverse stitch until we get to the last 5. And we're right there. So you're going to bring in another border color. It's the same one, you just got to have you got to have 2 strands of it coming in. This blanket does have a lot of tails, so you can weave as you go or wait till the end. And then you just pull up the remaining 5 stitches as your reverse stitches. And then the end stitches you normally would. And a standard return pass. Now with the return pass is going to be a little bit different because you got some color changes to do. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to deal with that. When you get to your color change, the very last yarn over pull through, then you stop. Pick up your color change, and you're going to use the color change color as your new yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2 with that new color, and then go back and tighten up the last color, and it tightens up really nice and smooth. So go ahead and you're going to do that, and then I'll meet you when we get back to the beginning of the next row. Alright, now we're on row 7. In the beginning, we're laying the foundation for the repeat, because the repeat won't start until your next color. So now we're just laying the foundation for the repeat. Now we got to do our border, which is our 5 reverse stitches. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then it is nothing but simple stitches now, because we don't need to reverse stitch anything. So we'll just pull up our simple stitches, pull that back through, and you'll pull up your simple stitches until you get to the other border side, and then you'll do your reverse stitches. I will meet you before we stop the return pass on our first color, because we're going to be switching out a color. Alright, so before we end our color, you're going to stop with 2 loops left on your hook. Leave yourself a decent tail, and bring in your second color. And you're going to use your second color as your yarn over pull through 2. And then just tighten everything down. And then drop the color and pick up your border color and continue your return pass. And then just tighten everything up a little bit. There we are. Now go ahead and do 5 reverse stitches. Now this is starting the first row of the 4-row repeat for this pattern. So we'll do 5 reverse stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Drop your border color. Now pick up that new color we just added. You're going to do 3 simple stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be doing our drop down like we would in the Jigsaw Stitch, and it's going to go right between our border color and our first color. So for me it's the cream and the blue. You're going to take your needle and go between those two. Go straight down and go between, and then you're going to pull up your new color, and then that bar, that loop that is right even with it, you're going to go put your needle through it, yarn over, and then pull through both of those. And then it's 3 simple stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Go straight down, do the exact same thing, go in between your border color and your first main color, yarn over, poke through, yarn over, and pull that loop up, and go into that loop that's right even with it. Put your needle through it, yarn over, and pull through 2. And then again, 3 simple stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to go straight down. Exact same thing as we did the last 2 drop downs. Pull up your loop and go right back into that loop, yarn over, and pull through. And you can use this in any colors you want to use it with. 1, 2, 3 simple stitches. On that 4th one, just go straight down, and you're going in between your border and your first main color. Pull up your loop, go right back to that 4th one, go through like you're pulling up a simple stitch, yarn over, and pull through the 2. And then it's 3 simple stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then on that 4th one, go all the way down to your border color, because you're skipping row 1, row 2, and right into there. So that's, you're going between 2 and 3 rows down, and then back up to number 4 loop, yarn over, and pull through. And then 3, 1, 2, and 3. On this last one, it's going to be right on the edge, which is great, because it'll be offset on our next color, because we'll be putting one very close to the edge on this side. So that's fine. Go straight down, do the exact same thing, yarn over, and then go back into that loop, yarn over, and pull up that loop, drop, and then do your 5 border. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then your end stitch, your standard return pass. Pay attention to your color changes, and I will meet you at row number 2 of the 4-row repeat. Alright, so we're on row 9, or the 2nd row of the 4-row repeat. We're going to do our 5 reverse stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This next row is nothing but simple stitches all the way across. A simple stitch all the way, and then on your return pass you're going to leave the 2 loops left on your hook so we can add another color. So I will see you here in just a second when we get back to the return pass, and we'll leave those 2 loops left on our hook. Alright, so I stopped with 2 loops left on my hook. I'm going to add my bottom color back, but you could do this in any pattern that you want to do it in, and I'm going to use it as my yarn over, pull through, tighten down my red, and then pick up my border color, yarn over and pull through with it, and continue that pull through all the way down to the end, and go back and tighten up what you need to tighten up, and we will start the 3rd row of the 4-row repeat. Alright, so I went ahead and I snipped off my red because I'm not going to need it anymore. Now we're going to go ahead and do our border, and that is 5 reverse stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Drop our border color, pick up our new color. Now this is where the pattern changes just a little bit. We're going to do 1 simple stitch with our new color, just 1, and then we're going to go straight down between the red and the blue for me, and poke through and pull up our loop, and then go right into number 2 on our stitch count there on that first row, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we do 3 simple stitches, so 1, 2, and 3. Go straight down to where the colors meet up again, and then back up to number 4, go back into it, yarn over and pull up your loop. That is the pattern, and it's 3 simple stitches, so 1, 2, and 3. On that 4th one, just go down between the 2 different colors, push your needle through, yarn over, pull up that loop, go back to number 4, go through the loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and then 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Go straight down, poke through, yarn over, pull up that loop, go back into number 4, yarn over and pull through. And then we're going to do 3 more simple stitches, so 1, 2, and 3. And you can see what it's starting to look like. And then on that 4th one, again, you're going to go between the 2 colors, push your needle through, yarn over, pull up that loop, go back into the 4th loop, yarn over and pull up your simple stitch. And 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Go back down on the 4th one between the 2 colors, yarn over, pull up that loop, go back into number 4 and pull through. And then it's 2 simple stitches, 1 and 2. Drop your color, do your border color, and do your border, which is the reverse stitches. And it's 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then your end stitch, And standard return pass, pay attention to your color changes, and I will meet you back at the start of row 11, which is the 4th row of the 4-row repeat. All right, we're on row 11, which is the 4th row of the 4-row repeat. You'll do your border like we have been doing with the reverse stitch and pull up 5 reverse stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then this next row is nothing but simple stitches all the way across. So you'll pull up your simple stitches all the way across, and on the return pass we're going to keep 2 loops left on our hook so we can change to another color. And then you'll do your border as we have been doing it, standard return pass, and I will see you at row 1 of the 4-row repeat because we're starting it over again. Okay, I stopped with 2 short. Alright, so I stopped with 2 loops left on my hook because I want to bring in a 3rd color. And that 3rd color is a gold color. And you'll use it as your yarn over and pull through 2. And then just tighten down everything. And then drop it, pick up your border color, and use that as your yarn over, pull through 2. And then you just tighten everything up a little bit. That's all it'll take. And now we're going back to row 1 of the 4-row repeat. You'll do the 5 reverse stitches on your border. Four and number 5. Then we can go ahead and get rid of this color coming in. Pick up your new color and do 3 simple stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you can start seeing where things are going to line up now. And this is why it's a 4-row repeat, because this starts your foundation for your design. And this is the second part of the foundation of the design. And then everything after that, you just kind of line up every other section. So this one will line up evenly with this one. Just go in between the 2 colors and pull up that loop and go into that 4th stitch. And then 3 simple stitches. 1, 2, 3. And just line everything up. There's the 4th stitch. Go right into the middle of the 2 colors. Yarn over, pull up your loop. And then go back into that 4th stitch. Yarn over and pull through the 2. And that is this pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work it up a little bit more off of camera so you can see. And then I'm going to show you how to do the very last row. And then we'll weave in our ends. And then we'll finish off the border. Weave in our ends. And look at it. See you in just a sec. I'll see you in just a moment. Alright, so on the last row, you do not need to wait for your color change. You can just go ahead and yarn over and pull through. And then continue. Now how we're going to do this first row of our border color, because we're done with our color changes. So let's go ahead and get rid of that right now. And we're going to work this up just a little bit different now. So you're going to go ahead and pull up your border, which is your 5 reverse stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. Now we don't want our row of our colors to get reversed. we don't want them to be puffy. So how we're going to do this, now you can continue your, because we're doing simple stitches. So what we're going to do, you could do this two ways. You could do a simple stitch all the way across, or you can continue the pattern to where the border fits into the actual blanket itself as well. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do one more row of our stitch pattern. But this is how we're closing it all off. And I think it looks really good with the back border coming into play. Makes it look like the border's hugging it. And like down here, it makes it look like it's stitching into the border. Or up here, it makes it look like the border is stitching into it. And I think it comes up really well. So we'll just finish our pattern. Just continue with it. And here's what we're going to change here at this border. We don't need the second line coming in, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. And we're just going to use the line, our main line that we just stretched across. We're going to use the main line and start our reverse stitches with our main line. And then just do your reverse stitches like you normally would. And then your return passes all the way through. No color changing involved now. Standard return pass. And I will see you here in just a second at the other side. Alright, so I'm pulling through the last few right now. Now, here's where we're going to change up. We're going to do our reverse stitches all the way across. And you're going to do 5 total rows of reverse stitches, which will equal 4 puffies. These are your puffies. And because now we can do a reverse stitches on our border color versus a reverse stitch on any of our main colors. And now it looks right. It looks cohesive. So can continue, and you remember it's 4 rows of these puffies, which will make you 5 rows of reverse stitches. And then when we do the close off, we'll do the close off to get our 5th row of puffies. And again, just do 5 rows of reverse stitches, which equals 4 rows of the puffies. And I will meet you back for the close off. Alright, so we're back, and we're just about to pull through the last few right now. And what this is going to give us is this look, where it looks like a foundation row. Now we're going to do our close off. Now to do our close off is just a reverse stitch. And then you just take that loop you pulled up and just slip it off. And you're going to do that all the way down, and then do the end stitches you normally would and slip it off. And weave in the end, and you are done. I'm going to finish this up real quick. Alright, so just snip my tail, pull through, and then just weave it in. And there you are. The Enigma blanket pattern. Turn it back. That is what the back looks like. So the back itself is actually pretty cool too. But the front. The reverse stitch border keeps it from curling. And that is all you need. And it is a very simple stitch pattern to do. And if you found this tutorial helpful, please give me a like and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. And leave me a comment. I will chit chat with you. And as always, folks, keep stitching.